Okay. That sounds great. Brian, how about you? What is your limitation? Well, you said you can't fly, I know, but is there another limitation?
As far as I'm aware, I'm just reading the script and everything. It looks, it's just that I can't fly. Say I could slow. I can kind of control the speeds and things that I land at. So, say if I was jumping off a 10-story building, I can kind of slow my body down before I make impact, things like that. But it seems like as far as the way it's written, the power is pretty simple. I could jump far distances and just kind of float through the air a little bit, but just not take off like Superman. So. Which would be cool.
Well, yeah, you don't want to be redundant with Superman, right?
Yeah, you've been there, done that, so let's try something different.
Yeah, there you go. Now, gentlemen, I don't know how many scripts you've been allowed to read thus far, but do your powers grow? Are they going to grow as you gain more control and understanding of who and what you are? Are those powers going to grow? Do you know? Sai?
Go ahead. I don't know at this point, but I would imagine definitely. I mean, my character is 24. He's a young man, still learning. Obviously, he's in the fraternity being trained. And I think that's a lot of what it's going to be is we are actually training to hone in our powers. So I would definitely say, yes, we're definitely going to get stronger. I don't know if the actual power is going to get, a lot stronger, but we're definitely going to get better at using them.
Well, I'm going to give Aaron a heads up that there's got to be a lightning bolt or two. To be. There has to be.
We don't want to kill him, though. Candace, come on. We don't want to kill him off.
You don't have to kill him. Shoot it in front of them. It'll stop them cold. Guys, okay, tell me what is most fun about doing this series. And, Brian, let's start with you again. Then we'll go to Kyle, and then we'll go to Sai. So what are you enjoying the most? And not only that, what do you think viewers will pick up? What's the best thing viewers will pick up from it? Brian, go ahead.
I think what they'll see, especially with our group, is probably the chemistry that we have. I'm sure we've all watched shows or movies where it just seems like the people on screen aren't really feeling it and they're not really working it together. I don't know if that makes sense. But with us, I mean, we have fun doing this. The whole group is just excited about it. When we're on set, it's a blast. When we work hard, but we're always having fun and everybody gets along. Even the downtime when we're not filming, we're just kind of hanging out. It's like a little family that we have going on. So I think that will really shine through. It's a lot different when you have your whole, even with big productions, you end up becoming a family, but we're a pretty close-knit group right now. And as this thing grows, we'll probably, add more people, but that feeling of camaraderie and just everybody in there that's so tight-knit, I think that will really shine through on the screen. So I think people will see that. And that's my favorite part is because it's like working with family, and sometimes it can drive you nuts, but most of the time we love them, so it's fun.
Yes, that is
actually, it's been a good time. I don't think we've had any times where we've been at each other's necks. Not yet. Maybe on screen, for the script and stuff. But Kyle doesn't like me very much in the script. But,
oh, really?
Yeah, when we're not filming, we're pretty cool.
Yeah.
Who are the undergraduates and who are the graduates, Brian?
Well, with my character, it's a little bit different because he kind of has an insider that gets him into the fraternity, not necessarily as a student. Everybody else is already part of the fraternity. I don't think that they're undergrads. You might have to correct me, Kyle, if I'm wrong. But
there's Jason and Matt, which is my character and Kai's character. We're the graduates. Everybody else is undergraduate. But like Brian was saying, he's kind of already an accomplished person, but kind of feels. He comes in kind of as an outsider, but already an insider just because of his gifts and abilities, because he is one of the five. So it's a cool aspect that Aaron's written into the script, and like Brian was saying, we don't get along in the script, but we get along great outside.
That's awesome. And what is the funnest part for you, Kyle?
The funnest part for me is this is just my lifelong dream of just being an actor. I've over the last 10 years, I've done stage work. I've done a little bit of film, but it's my passion. It's always been my dream to be an actor, and this is the role of a lifetime because it's exactly like I was telling you before, what every little boy wants to become is a superhero. And so to have this be one of my first main roles is it's a dream come true, and it's something that it's fun when you go to work and you have fun and you love what you do. That makes life so much easier, and for me the fun comes through doing what I love, and acting is definitely something that I have always enjoyed and had a passion for. So that's what brings the fun for me.
Well, and if I remember right, you have a passion for mythology that comes from childhood, right?
Oh yes. So it is combined with mythology. Mythology is something that has always held my fascination, and I love talking with Erin. Erin Glines, the writer of the show. She has a passion for this mythology, and I do too. And we can talk for hours and hours about different aspects of different abilities and different stories, and how and she's written all of the old stories into the show in one way or the other, with whether it be characters, whether it be traits, and it's so brilliant the way that she has brought each of those stories to life within the show, and it's going to be great as we portray each one of them. So yeah, it's definitely coupled with that.
Wow. Yep, it makes sense to me, and I am also a mythology buff, and so I just was attracted to the storyline immediately. Sai, how about you? What do you find most fun about it?
Like Brian said and Kyle said, I like working with everybody. It's fun to go to work every day and enjoy who you're around. For me, who doesn't want to be a superhero? So it fits in perfect with everything I've been doing in my life up to this point. I love to exercise. I love to eat healthy. I love to be fit. Now, most likely we're going to be doing some stunts. And so, I feel like I need to keep myself pretty fit for these stunts. And, who knows what kind of scenes we're going to do. So it helps motivate me a lot in the, current occupation I'm already in as a personal trainer. So I love it. I look forward to that, and I think it's a blast. So you
already are a superhero.
It's good motivation. Let's just put it that way.
He is.
Now, I want to know, Sai, if you're whipping the other guys into shape.
No, I would like to be able to say, yes, but these guys are so motivated. They are so driven. These guys are awesome. Everything that they're doing, they can take full credit for. If I would like to say that it was through inspiration.
Definitely inspired.
Yeah.
Well, thanks, Kyle. Brian's a personal trainer as well, so I know he's been passionate about this as well. So I think we're all really a good team, and we bring something different to the set. So we're helping each other out a lot.
That is awesome. Okay, guys, we're down to our last half hour of the show. Now, Brian, I would like you, this is a question I asked the other guys earlier, I would like you to tell me, if you are willing, what kind of obstacles you overcame as you came to this point in your life where you've got this incredible role in this Series 5 that is, like I said, going to be a January mid-season replacement. So, Brian, go ahead.
Obstacles that I overcame, I can name a ton. I mentioned before, I guess it all started, it's been a whirlwind ride for the last couple of years, but if I was to pinpoint it to any single series of events, I'd say it all started back in 2009. Kind of embarrassing to say, but I think what was the catalyst for all of the change in my life, because I'd mentioned I was really unhealthy and all that, was I had a breakup with a girlfriend, and that is kind of what drove me to start getting back into fitness and driving and just getting really, really healthy again. And like that spark we talked about earlier, that ignited inside of me, and I had kept it going from 2009 all the way up to present day. And I got really, really fit, and then I ended up getting booked for more fitness work because I've been doing modeling for a while with the agency that represents me in Utah. So they were getting me a lot of work there. Whereas before I wasn't getting much work because I was so unhealthy and just wasn't lean like I am now. And so I started doing that more. And then the whole acting thing was completely new to me. That whole realm was totally new. I just thought, and I'm sure a lot of models, if anybody's has studied modeling and listening to this, they think, well, we can stand there and have pictures taken of us. Acting shouldn't be that much worse. It's just, the same thing, but now we have lines, and that was a reality check and a half, right? So
I'll bet.
Acting is so much more difficult, but at the same time, so much more fun. And that was probably my biggest challenge. I enrolled myself in a couple of acting workshops that were held in Utah, and just working on character development and facial expressions and all that stuff, I think, is probably the biggest challenge for this particular role. And I was doing all that before I even got the call for the 5. And so I guess you could kind of say I was just already kind of preparing for it, just trying to do what I can and doing the best that I could. And then when I got that phone call that about the 5, and it was funny because when I received the character bio from Aaron and read it, I related to so many things because the character was Chinese-born Asian American, which I am, who is the only child, which I am, and then his power is, a semi-flying or almost flying, which I love flying, and he's driven, he's motivated, disciplined, all this stuff, which I could totally relate to because the last couple of years I've been probably the most driven and motivated in my entire life, and so it was almost me in that sense, but just with a different name, and this character could fly almost and stuff, so...
Something I find really interesting, Brian and Kyle and Cy, is I've listened to your stories. I've listened how you've come to this point in your life, and I know Kai Kamai. I've known him because he's my nephew, so obviously I know everything about him. But I have seen what you guys have all come through. Now, many people never realize that if they expand themselves from where they are right now. For instance, Brian, the example I'm going to use is you. You were unhealthy and you decided to get in shape. And you were modeling, and then you decided, I'm going to act. And instead of just saying, okay, I'm here, I'm an actor, you went and educated yourself on how to do it. And then you got the 5. And so because you expanded your skills and your talents and your experiences, when this opportunity came along, you were able to take it. Mm-hmm. And this is something that I try to teach. I speak all over the nation, and this is something that I really try to beat into people's heads, metaphorically speaking, that if they just sit on the couch and watch TV, opportunities will come and go because they didn't continue to grow as a human being. And I think you just gave the most ample example of that I have heard in quite a while.
Yeah, like I said, I didn't know I was preparing for it, and I'm sure Cy and Kyle, Kyle's been on this project for a while, so acting is his passion. But I know with Cy and myself, and I don't know if Cy mentioned earlier before I was on of how we met and things, but did you talk about that at all, Cy?
I didn't.
No.
Oh, okay. Because the whole health and fitness thing is kind of what brought Cy and I together, and that connection that we made is kind of how I got brought onto the 5, because then Kai got in touch with Cy, and then
Shay.
Chayton.
Chayton, that's right. He's a Native American, and his name is Chayton.
Oh, got it. Okay. All right. My producer, we're chatting off air, and she said, I'm confused already when you were saying, Kai got a hold of Cy, and Cy got a hold of me, and Kyle, and she got all
We were just going to start calling Brian Bry.
Yeah, there we go. We'll call him Bry.
Everything sounds the same.
To mix it up a little bit.
Too funny. Okay, anyway, I'm sorry. My producer is awesome, and she is chatting with people all over the world as they're listening to the show. And so when she pops me a question, I go ahead and try and answer it, and then this was the question. I'm so confused.
Who is who?
Who is who? That's the problem. Okay,
we're talking
all right,
real
gentlemen.
names today.
Yeah.
We
should put our character names up with our pictures that are on the website, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Well, I'm really excited for this show, and we are winding down turning the tide right now. I'm going to remind people they can go to Facebook and type in the 5 series. 5 is spelled out, and that is the fan page, and these gentlemen are on there often, and you can ask them questions, and Erin Glines is on there. She is the creator and writer of the show, and I think that this is going to be a big-time hit, like I said, and I think that these gentlemen are going to make a huge difference in a number of ways. Now, guys, I have interviewed you before. Brian, this is the first time with you, but I did interview Kai, Cy, and Kyle in studio along with Erin.
Start calling me Bry.
I'm going to call you Bry. That would be easier. So Bry, Cy, Kai, and Kyle. How's that, B? Did that make it better? Oh, I'm sorry. I got sidetracked.
You can just start calling us our character names. That works too.
Yeah.
Okay. So we still have online, we have Jen, we have Matt, and we have Nick. Am I right?
Yep.
Yes.
All righty. Got that done. Okay. Let's wind this up with one last thought that each of you would like to give to the listeners who will become your viewers. Again, this is a series called The 5. It is going to be a mid-season replacement on one of 3 or 4 networks that are vying for it right now, and I know I have my favorites and which ones I hope you guys end up on. But I'm excited. The second it comes up on my direct TV, I'm going to tag it to record. So, gentlemen, let's start with Brian. Brian, do you have anything that you have to say to the people that are going to become your viewers?
First of all, thank you. Just deeply, deeply showing gratitude for all the fans that we already have, and that hopefully we will have if they like the show and continue to spread the word. We totally appreciate it, and we need the fans. We need the people to view it. So definitely thank you would be the first thing I'd say to them. And then secondly, hopefully get ready to be blown away and get ready for a great show, because we're expecting to have great things come out of this, a lot of big things. So we're hoping that we can entertain and keep everybody enthralled and just having fun. And then probably one last thought, just more personally, is just for our viewers and our fans, don't be afraid to do what you love to do. Just take that big giant leap of faith and go for it. Whatever it is, just do what you love. There's way too many people out there that do things because they have to, not because they love it and because they want to. So, and you can see that. You can see that in people that are struggling internally and not liking what they're doing, but they're doing it anyway because they're maybe stuck in a certain circumstance or in something like that. So I would say, take that leap of faith and do it anyway, and do what you love. So it'll work out.
That is great advice, Brian. Thank you. All right, Kyle, let's go with you next.
I would say to all of those fans out there already, thanks for going on the 5 series on Facebook and liking us. If you haven't done so already, head over there and do it now. That helps us out. But what's great about that is that you can actually put your feedback for what you want to see, what you want us to become, what you guys are expecting. I mean, obviously, having input on a show, how much impact you'll have just depends on the quality of what you'll have to offer. But I think that page is great because it actually offers you the modality to kind of get in touch with us and tell us what you think and tell us maybe what your concerns are before we even get things rolling. Having feedback always helps, and to do so, just like I said, just hop on Facebook, go to the 5 series, look it up, and like us, and that way you can definitely have an impact on what your future television will have and what will portray. So that's one of the other things that I'm really excited for is once we get started to kind of see what our fans say and see how that shapes us and see where it brings us to. So.
Yeah, it's going to be awesome without question. Okay, Sai, your last words to the viewers.
Okay, going last, that's hard. It's going to be pretty repetitive, but just a big thanks to all the supporters and the viewers and everybody that's helping us out and getting this thing going. And I think I would have to say, I wanted to say something about what you guys were talking about earlier with Brian, is that, you say he prepared and he's been getting prepared for this his last couple years of his life. I don't really believe in luck. I can't remember who said it, but they said that luck is when preparation meets opportunity. So be ready for anything. I just want to let everybody know out there that the only limitations in life are the limitations you put on yourself. So trust yourself in what you're doing and just believe in yourself. Don't listen to the naysayers. All they're saying is that when they say it can't be done, they're speaking for themselves. That's how they feel about themselves right now. So just trust yourself and go after your dreams.
Oh, that is great advice, guys. Thank you so much for joining me today. We have been talking with the cast of The 5, which is a new series which will be on mid-January. It's going to be a mid-season replacement, and as soon as these guys know what network, as their show is quite popular and networks are vying for it, they will be on, and the day and time we will be sure to let you all know. Gentlemen, again, thank you for joining us, and good luck.
Thank you, Candace.
And keep us
Thank
posted,
you, Candace.
okay?
Thanks, Candace.
You're awesome.
Thank you so much,
Okay.
Candace. Nice talking to you.
Thanks, guys. Have a good day.
You too.
Yeah.
See ya.
Bye.
All right, bye-bye. All right, like I said, we have just been talking with the cast of The 5. We started out the show with Kai Kamai. He is a Pacific Islander, and his character is Jason. Then we spoke with Cy Garrick. His character is Nick, Italian-American. Then we have Kyle Fotheringham, who is his character is Matt, and I can't remember what his heritage is. Anyway, and then we had Brian Hin, H-I-N, whose character is Jin, J-I-N, that character is Chinese American, and the 5th character is Chayton, and he is Native American. So Aaron has really pulled in from all the cultures, and I believe it's going to be a fascinating show. When Bea has a second here, I want her to come back on, and we will finish the show. But you may be asking again why I had a TV cast on Turning the Tide. Simply because I think the only way we can turn the tide in America towards morning again is to make changes in all aspects of our lives. Bea, are you on with me?
I am. I'm here.
Okay, all right. We were talking with the guys about how critical it is that you be prepared, that you go for your dreams, that you really push through the obstacles or climb over them or walk around them, whatever it takes, and get the job done. So I wanted to know what your thoughts were. This is probably a different kind of show than All Fired Up usually does.
Well, it is, but I'll tell you something. It is the kind of show that we really, really can benefit from. And, you know, I really appreciate that these guys have come on and said, you know, this is what we used to do, but we were called to do something else, and so we went there. And I love that because I am one of those people who God has a tendency to lift me out of a situation at a moment's notice and then set me in another sort of, I always say, sink or swim situation. And it sounds like this is kind of what happened with them. They just sort of, you know, happened upon each one another and then happened upon this, and it's fantastic. And so many of us, whenever we find ourselves in a situation that is something unfamiliar, we panic. And instead of panicking, why not embrace that change? Why not go with it and find out exactly where God is taking us? I think it's fantastic what they've done. I thought the show was great. You did a great job, Candace, by the way, and the guys are awesome. I got a lot of people in chat who were talking about you know, different mythological
characters.
Characters. Orpheus was Fred's favorite, and I immediately went and you know, wikied him, Googled him, wiki. So, you know, it's a great place to. It's something that we don't think about anymore. We don't think about. We think about superheroes. I made the mistake of saying, you know, superheroes always have to fly. No, they're not superheroes.
Well, if you think about it, the demigods were the superheroes of their day.
Yeah.
And we've just kind of morphed into something else. But, yeah, I was so impressed with these guys. I met them through Kai, like I said, who is my nephew. And he told me about the show, and I was so excited for him. And so I made arrangements for him to be on this other radio show that I just finished up on Friday, and I'm going to be doing Turning the Tide full time now. But
yay!
I know, I'm really excited about it. I interviewed them initially, and I didn't get to drill down the way, you know, I wanted, because my co-host took it in a different direction, which was fine. There was nothing wrong with that at all. But this time I got to drill down and really talk about these men, because as I got to know them better that day, I came to realize that they themselves, each of them individually, were heroes in their own special ways. And I know how much that they have done and sacrificed to be prepared for when opportunities came their way. And literally, I'm going to tell you, until January of this year, radio never crossed my radar. I'm a published author. I'm a public speaker. I'm politically active. I you know, am a wife, and I am a devoted auntie and a devoted daughter, and I keep myself very, very, very busy, very active in my church. And so I was just asked to substitute for someone by a friend, because the gentleman that I did Buy Back America with for 8 months had just lost his mother. And that just morphed into me being a permanent co-host, and that morphed into me getting Turning the Tide with All Fired Up. And so it's if we're not prepared, if we're just not ready for any eventuality that may come our way that we feel right about, then we're going to miss out on a lot of things in life.
Well, and I think that we have to realize too that you know, not necessarily if we're not prepared, but if we don't embrace these opportunities. For instance, I went from being a sales and marketing rep for a huge state company here in Houston, and lost my job when Obama took office. Just had to throw that in. Lost my job because the economy went unstable. We lost a bunch of people. so then I was home, and I was never, much into talk shows or certainly radio talk shows. AM stations, not for me. Was listening to something that my husband had left on, and Glenn Beck came on. Next thing you know, I signed up for a 912 group. Next thing you know, we're building, we built 14 chapters in the Houston area of 912 groups, and next thing you know, somebody said, hey, I need to yell this from the mountaintops, and next thing you know, here I am with you. So it's not even about being prepared. It's about embracing what comes your way, because God will prepare you.
You have to. Yeah, it's true. I've not ever been politically inactive, but over the last 3 years, I went into superdrive, just like you. Yeah. And it has been, it's been an interesting journey. I have to admit, I was very happy writing books. I was very happy traveling around talking about literacy, and I took it from the tact, we have 40% illiteracy in America, and 80% of juvenile delinquents are functionally illiterate, and 60% of prison inmates have a second or third grade education. And I know for a fact in history has been proven that it's very difficult for a literate nation to fall. And so I was kind of attacking it from that route. But when Congress and the presidency lost their collective minds and started doing what they were doing with TARP and Omnibus and Obamacare and cap and trade and the DREAM Act, with those two things, they can't get them to Congress, so they're regulating them and executive ordering them now.
Yes, absolutely.
But it just has gotten us to the point where my life just took a sharp turn, but it was the right way to go.
Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, and if we follow the tide, we can turn it. If we get into the tide, we really can make a difference. And I think that so many people being in it now we are making a difference. We are turning that tide. We are making sure that that no one gets swallowed up, and hopefully, and that those who are working against we shed daylight on them. We've got to shine light on evil, and that's what makes them go away.
Yes, absolutely. Now, I would like to end the show today with the song We Are America by Jessie Funk. She will be coming on towards the end of this month, and we are going to listen to that song. And so I would like you to tune back in next Saturday morning at 9 a.m. for Turning the Tide with Candace Salima. And now, this is Jessie Funk, or maybe it's not. B is texting me and telling. Do you have it, B? I sent it via Facebook. You should have been able to download it. Okay, we won't go that route this time. We'll give that a shot next time.
Oh,
it's okay.
It sent, but I didn't see it sent. I'm so sorry.
It's okay. Don't worry about it. We will go ahead. September 3rd, which is next Saturday, 9 a.m. Mountain Daylight Savings Time. We will be back with Turning the Tide, and as long as he's back from Israel already, we will be speaking with Senator Mike Lee of Utah, and we're going to be talking about his new book, The Freedom Agenda, Why a Balanced Budget Amendment is Necessary. And I have read the book, and it is fabulous, and it is going to be a very interesting interview. So I hope to see you all next Saturday. In the meantime, B, we have got some exciting things coming up for All Fired Up. Why don't you tell us what's going on?
Well, we do. We do have a lot of exciting things coming up for All Fired Up. We are preparing an entire new website. We're going to pull All Fired Up off of Blog Talk Radio, and we're going to put the best of the best on an All Fired Up website all to itself, where we will be able to have a live stream. We will be able to have video. We will be able to have our own place where you don't have to, go through all of the muck of Blog Talk Radio. I've heard so many times I keep getting, this show or that show, and I can't find your show when I need to. Well, number one, you can always put it in your favorites, and it's always available to you. But for that purpose, we're going to make sure that you don't have that problem again. We're going to put a site up for you to go to. So
yeah, it's going to be fun. I am so looking forward to it. We're looking at probably, October, November before we get that completely transitioned over?
Probably October. On September, on 9/11, we're going to be bringing a show live from Washington, D.C. One of our hosts, Jim Robbins, was there that day and watched the plane hit the Pentagon. So we're going to bring a show to you from him, talking about how he experienced that. So we're down
what
to
time
about
will that be on? What time will that be? What time will that be?
That's going to be Sunday at 5 p.m. So I'll put
5 p.m.
I'll put that up. Yes.
Okay, blogtalkradio.com /all fired up. And that's how you can tune in to James Robbins, who is the senior editor at the Washington Times, talking about 9/11 and his experience when he saw the plane hit the Pentagon. So we are at the end of our show today. I want to thank Bea, absolutely the queen of all producers. I want to thank the cast of The Five, Kai Kamai, Cy Garrick, Kyle Fotheringham, and Brian Jin for joining me today to talk about this new series that is just going to smack the airwaves. You are going to love it, I promise. Pop on over to their Facebook page, The Five Series, and you can interact with them personally. In the meantime, this is Turning the Tide with Candace Salima. Thank you, and see you next Saturday.